Hurt is an occupational hazard of relationship. One of the biggest things I had to deconstruct as I came to a place of trusting everyone, of giving 100% trust upfront to every person I meet, was deconstructing where I categorized hurt. I had to stop seeing hurt, which is a natural part of drawing people close and near to us, as the betrayal itself. The closer we get to each other, the closer we get to each other's inner worlds, inner workings, the more certain hurt is. And I realized in my life, especially when I was in this phase of not trusting, starting trust at zero and having people work up to that 100% trust, trust testing constantly, that I was trying to avoid hurt. I had decided on the long path of becoming Jamila that if somebody hurt me, that means they had betrayed me. Now let me explain why that's problematic. So I'm a subjective, imperfect creature, like all of us are. And so if I decide that any moment of pain or discomfort is a betrayal, that means people can betray me without knowing it. Any late lunch, any missed phone call, any moment where a conversation goes in a direction that makes me feel bad or uncomfortable or angry is a betrayal. That requires me to make the assumption that anybody who isn't constantly able to create a space of safety for me is dangerous. And for me personally, it meant that I was making a lot of assumptions about how people thought and felt about me, whether or not they respected me, based off of my own dysregulated nervous system. It meant that I was also using people, objectifying them, and expecting them to operate a standard of complete safety for me at all times, at all stages of the relationship. And that I was doing this while I was testing them and refusing to trust it. So when I reframed from hurt as the betrayal, I decided to set standards of what felt non-negotiable for me, what my deal breakers were in all my relationships. And for me, it really boiled down to one simple thing. When I arrived to a place of pain or discomfort, when I arrive to a place of fear or hurt, are you willing to repair that with me? Regardless of intent, regardless of awareness, if I express to you that you have hurt me or that your actions have hurt me or that I'm feeling discomfort or pain, will you arrive to that pain with me? And this is how I determine how close people can be to me in my life. The people I trust the most in this world can arrive to my pain without taking it on. They move from a place of understanding, of saying, Jamila, even if that was not my intent, I never want you to be in pain. Tell me what happened for you. They don't get defensive, and they don't need to dismiss my pain or feel it as an attack or as an assumption against their character. They're able to share their experience without undermining or dismissing mine, even if it doesn't align with mine. They show up and they validate the pain because at the end of the day, they don't want me to be hurt, one, but two, they don't want me to be alone in that feeling. I've stopped thinking about acceptable levels of pain and endurance because what that was requiring of me, just my story with it, was that I was over-investing and absorbing all this pain that would eventually hit a critical mass point, leaving me feeling very neglected. I was writing fiction about myself and others, saying, I do so much for others. I am always the thankless giver. I was feeding off my own martyrdom in a certain way. And it was coercive. What I was essentially doing was saying, if I tolerate all of this pain with a smile on my face, I expect you to turn around then and give me that back. Except I didn't say that, ever. And so people were entering into an unspoken agreement where they were never allowed to hurt me, but if they did, I would swallow it and tolerate it in exchange for their love. And I want to be clear here, it was incredibly manipulative and unfair. But it kept me free from having to do the dirty work, the fearful work of telling someone you care about that they've hurt you. Because what if they don't care? What if they don't do anything? What if they ignore you and abandon you in that place of hurt and discomfort because they don't want to deal with it? What if they decide it's too much or you're too much? I realized that trying to avoid that was me trying to protect myself from people letting me down. It's like I was creating a shield that's saying, I'm not going to put you in a position that you could possibly disappoint me. I'm not going to allow you the opportunity to potentially disappoint me so that I don't have to make the decisions to enforce my boundaries, to protect my dignity and integrity, and to move through a life that feels enriching and nourishing for me. I was also obsessed with this idea that it wasn't possible, that I could never get that I wasn't allowed to ask that from other people. But closed mouths don't get fed. They do get fed up. For me, whether or not I can have somebody in my life doesn't really matter upon the degree of transgression or pain that they've caused me. It matters purely whether they repair it or not. And I have to have the bravery and self-love to step away from people who demonstrate that they're unable to arrive to my pain with me and show up compassionate and loving and curious. It's meant letting my heart break about people that I really wanted to have in my life for whatever reason. And it's meant not trying to get things to be different, not trying to get people to arrive to that place if they're not ready or willing to. There's some people I can love right up here like this. And there's some people where the only way that I can love myself in them is if they're way the fuck over there. And it's been a process of accepting that there's no way with my behavior that I can broker or barter or coerce good treatment from another person. No amount of people pleasing pleases people. No amount of swallowing and hiding rage gets people to feel safe with you or trust you. Nothing that we do can control the actions of other people. And I go through ebbs and flows of this accepting and sort of gentle awareness, but that's the crux of it, is am I able to let people be who they are and show me who they are or not? Am I obsessed with getting people to arrive a certain way or be a certain thing for me by any means necessary? Because ultimately that's not fair to them, and it's really not fair to me either.